The Owl House is Fullmetal Alchemist. What's up, y'all? It's your boy AI, the animated intellectual, and I've speculated this for a very long time, but the Owl House is definitely heavily influenced and inspired by Fullmetal Alchemist. And by showing you what happened in Fullmetal Alchemist, I can tell you just with certainty what's going to happen with Emperor Bellos and the Day of Unity. Let's get started. First off is the magic system. The glyphs shown in the Owl House are pretty much exactly like the transmutation circles shown in Fullmetal Alchemist. Circles in which patterns are drawn inside of them to get a specific desired natural effect, operating within the laws of equivalent exchange, but that's something that leans more towards Fullmetal Alchemist. The moment Luz started using the glyphs, I thought to myself, yo, this reminds me of Fullmetal Alchemist, and it will be cool if somehow, like Fullmetal Alchemist, they could be arranged and combined to form different things. And I actually speculated that in one of my earlier videos. If you want to go watch, I'll drop it right here. Then out of nowhere, in Season 2, we start to see that very same thing happen. When Lilith was describing that the glyphs are like words and they command the energies around them to form new types of spells, so on and so forth, boom. Speculation there. In Season 2 is when we really see them start combining glyphs to form new spells. The different arrangements at different times, so on and so forth, create different desired effects. Again, just like the transmutation circles. There are transmutation circles for flame alchemy, for metal alchemy, for ice alchemy, whatever you might call it, even plant alchemy. All there, all there. I even said that, hey, it would be cool that since Ida lost her magic, it would be cool if she got tattoos of glyph circles on her to use as them. Kind of like how Gimli and other people have their tattoos of their transmutation circles that they use on their bodies. But more about tattooed glyphs later if you caught up on the show. Spoiler warning, by the way. I'll put that in the beginning. Spoiler warning. 2. Emperor Bellos is Father. The main antagonist in Fullmetal Alchemist is a guy known as Father. Well, a being known as Father. I won't go into too many details, but he's the man that's pulling the strings behind the scenes, you know, using everyone in some grand scheme, some grand game that he has. Sounds like an emperor that we know. And I mean, like, come on. They both have the same villainous white hair complexion. Like, they're one and the same. 3rd, wild magic. This is important. Pay very close attention. Emperor Bellos' plan has everything to do with wild magic. I'm going to take you on the journey. If you realize nothing else, realize this. Wild magic is the greatest source of power on the Boiling Isles, all right? The ultimate power. I mean, everyone who uses magic naturally on the Boiling Isles, they got that magic as a result of evolving on the body of the Titan, a being that was a source of great magic. And what is that great magic that the Titan has that all people got their magic from? Wild magic. Come on now. I'm telling you right now, Emperor Bellos didn't outlaw wild magic because it was dangerous or anything like that. No, he outlawed wild magic so nobody else would mess around with it besides him. He knows it's powerful, right? So he wants to keep it all to himself. He knows that it's a great source of power. So he outlaws, kind of like in One Piece a little bit, he outlaws the delving into the research of or even just knowing about wild magic. He banned it. Not because it's bad, but it's just like, hey, this untapped power, I'm going to make sure nobody else is looking into it and can realize the kind of potential that this power has, except for me. All right? So now, spoiler warning for the season, for episode 9, I believe. We know that Philip Wittebane is the Emperor. I'm just going to go out and say it right now. He carved the tattoos, the glyph magic into him. That's what gave him the curse. His arm. Philip Wittebane is the Emperor. It is what it is. The Emperor, he, in his own arrogance and hubris, right? He thought he could give himself magic power like the rest of the people in the Boiling Isles by carving glyphs into his own body, right? Into his arm. But wild magic don't work like that, and he messed up. And since when Luz or anybody activates the glyphs, they, you know, take power from whatever they're on, or they crumple up the page. Equivalent exchange, my goodness. They take the power from somewhere, right? Because these are tattoos, right? They don't necessarily just disappear. They're always in flux since the glyphs being activated, right? That's what the curse is. That's why all that power, all that whatnot happened. He probably got whatever spell he was trying wrong, and he can't get rid of it unless he cuts off his own arm. And he's not going to do that. Like, come on. I mean, it'll be metal if he did that, but he's not going to do that. That's where the curse comes from. The curse, he was cursed by wild magic, Emperor Bellos? No, that's just from his own arrogance with experimenting with a power that he knows nothing about. Yeah, wild magic didn't curse him. He just got afflicted because he tried to control something he doesn't know. That's why Emperor Bellos needs to eat palistrom wood in terms of getting sources of wild magic. Because it's one of those things where only wild magic can keep wild magic at bay. Let me learn you something right quick, huh? Yeah. Now, fourth and foremost, their ambition. Here's the plan. Here's where it gets crazy, right? In Fullmetal Alchemist, trust me, I will bring the parallel along, just follow me. In Fullmetal Alchemist, Father wanted to use great power to essentially become a god. With the help of his 7 homunculi, over the course of hundreds of years, he created a giant transmutation circle around an entire country, all right? He needed 5 people who attempted the taboo of human transmutation as a catalyst to start that. And when he activated it, he drew on the life force of everyone in the country to open this thing called the Gate of Truth. It's like, source of some otherworldly godly being. Anyway, he wanted to take that power and use it for himself. The main important part in doing this was the transmutation circle around the country, which perfectly aligned with the shadow of the moon that was cast upon the earth by a solar eclipse. And he called that day, that event, the Promised Day. I hope you're starting to see the connections here, right? Emperor Bellos has been for a long time working on the Day of Unity, the Promised Day, and he created the coven system with his 9 coven heads, 7 homunculi, in order to concentrate all the different types of magic, right? Each coven, each coven tattoo that everyone gets is essentially like an antenna, which, we kind of see it spread across Rain's body. It's an antenna which converges in one place like a conduit or battery. Right? Everyone who has that coven tattoo, all their magic is going to be relayed to one conduit or battery. And we see that battery in the form of the medallions that each of the coven heads have, right? So all their magic is going to be funneled into the medallions, right? And so again, with the coven heads, that's the power that's needed to catalyze the reaction, just like the 5 people that Father needed in Fullmetal Alchemist. So once all those pieces are in place, they are going to set them into a circle. We saw that, right? That powers some kind of giant spell, some kind of giant glyph that has to take place during a solar eclipse. Just like in Fullmetal Alchemist. Come on now. Come on. Tell me I learned you something real quick, all right? So now here is the overall end goal. Emperor Bellos' plan is to become a god in some way, shape, or form. I think that he wants to reawaken the Titan. Not only that, I think he wants to become the Titan himself. Because if he becomes the Titan, that means he has mainline 100% control of the Titan's godlike power. And what is that godlike power? Wild magic. All roads lead back to wild magic, baby. So wild magic is the fundamental powering force on the Boiling Isles. I mean, come on, think about it. Think about it. How powerful would somebody be in the human world if they could manipulate the fundamental forces here? The fundamental forces of gravity, electromagnetism, the weak and strong nuclear forces. Call those the 4 glyphs, with ice, plant, fire, and light, those 4. How powerful would someone be if they could manipulate those in the real world? Same concept, you know what I'm saying? The evidence is all clear from the previous episodes and from the diagram that Rain showed us. Again, drainage spell, big circle, giant transmutation circle, just like in Fullmetal Alchemist, and to drain the magic from the people into something that has to do with the solar eclipse. Now, the solar eclipse. The final thing that binds this all together with the Owl House and Fullmetal Alchemist, right? So there needs to be an intermediate step. In Full Metal Alchemist, there's this esoteric being that's close to God that is called Truth, right? Truth is this impish-like character, smiling, enigmatic figure that greets anyone who attempts the taboo. And, we see Father tries to get to this individual or aspect of this individual through the solar eclipse, right? And now, who is that similar-like being in the Owl House? We get it with the Collector. Come on now. Come on now. A smiling-faced, enigmatic being that has something to do with the solar eclipse, the sun and moon portion of it. It all fits. Come on. Come on. So to wrap it all up, Emperor Bellos is Father. His goal is to gain absolute power in the form of a god, but in this case, the Titan. He plans to use all the witches in the Boiling Isles and drain their magic, all of their magic, and doing something with the Collector and the solar eclipse in order to reawaken the Titan or become the Titan and gain the absolute power in the form of complete and utter control of wild magic. From there, who knows? Maybe he'll launch a full-scale invasion of the human world, and he'll try to get that. Maybe he'll go freaking into another dimension and fight King Andrius and Amphibia. Who knows? But yeah, that's everything. And if you want to know why Ida is the key to stopping the plan of the Emperor, again, we saw it in Rain's diagram, watch this video right here. And I have a bigger one explaining it coming. Peace.